Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. My name is D, and today I am checking out a demo by the name of Museum of the Microstar on the Oculus Rift Development Kit 1. Now, Museum of the Microstar was originally created as a tech demo by a tiny indie developer named Rust Limited, made of 4 people. Those 4 people are Anton Hand, who did the game Direction, 3D art, visual effects, Adam Liskowitz, who did the narrative and the writing. Lucas Miller helped out with the writing, also did some of the graphic design, and Luke Noonan, who did the development and sound design and the narration. So he's the guy who you're going to be hearing talking to us as we play this demo. They also had assistance from 2 outside people, outside of Rust Limited. They were named Joshua Oles, who did the shader development, and Arthur Brucey, I think, who did the particle system. So this, like I said, was intended originally as a tech demo. They wanted to try out a bunch of new graphical features, like DirectX 11 tessellation shaders, GPU simulated particles, and their physically based shading model, and they wanted to do it in the context of a short narrative demo and kind of work it all into a full application. So this is what they did. And it turned out really well. A lot of people have really enjoyed this one. It dates pretty far back. I believe this came out in the early days of the Rift back in 2013. And a lot of people have forgotten about it now, but it's one of the best, most well-produced demos, I think, of that era. And the basic premise is that it's about it's about kind of the end result of technological advancement leading mankind into a horrible place. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through it. So a little bit about Rust Limited, the company behind this. They started in Buffalo, New York. They're now based out of Los Angeles, and they do just all kinds of games, not even just video games. They do board games and card games and alternate reality games and all that stuff. So they have a very, very broad experience, and so I'm not surprised they would be already digging their fingers into the next generation of game platforms, which is virtual reality. So without further ado, let's jump into Museum of the Microstar. All right, here we are at the opening screen of Museum of the Microstar. I can just barely see down here. It says Museum of the Microstar, and this is the start button. So I've never played this before, and it's actually designed to be played at 1280-800, so I don't know if it's going to horribly break at 2560-1600. We will find out. Let's click.
On behalf of the Hedron Historical Group, welcome to the Museum of the Microstar.
What the?
Hedron hopes your rematerialization was pleasant and physiologically accurate. Your ability to move will be restored shortly. If you still feel nauseous at that time, the restrooms can be found ahead, but unfortunately they are currently closed for repairs. You may be wondering why you can hear my voice. For your convenience, Hedron was kind enough to implant a Hedron-certified audio device inside of you during the teleportation process.
Oh, thanks.
After the conclusion of your visit to the museum, you may elect to have your implant removed for a small fee. To begin the audio tour, please approach the first exhibit, and your audiotropic implant will automatically reactivate.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, first of all, those particle effects were badass. There's got to be over 1,000 particles here. This is madness. So that marker down there tells me where I'm standing and which way I'm facing. That's convenient. If you're not going to have a body, it's nice to at least have some visual indicator of which way you're facing so that you can tell if you've got some kind of weird drift going on. Just, oh my god, look at this. Look at this particle system. Look at this. And to see it in stereoscopic 3D and each of these particles moving past and they're all in front of it behind each other. It's like looking into a slow motion rainstorm or something. This is beautiful, beautiful stuff. Wow. I can step right inside it, and they're going right past my eyes now. Wow. I feel like I'm like inside someone's bloodstream or something. I don't even know. This is awesome. So you could hear during the initial speech that they have implanted an audio thing inside us, which is how we're going to hear all of the narration. And I don't think they asked our permission to do that, but If you're going to visit the museum, sometimes you have to put up with whatever they do to you. Oh, what the, is that the sun? Why do we have the sun? Wow. Okay, badass. That's a very small sun. Can I walk off the stairway? Oh, I think I can. What happens? Oh god.
Thank you for using the Hedron emergency teleportation system. Despite your carelessness, you've been safely teleported back to the museum's entrance.
Oh.
A nominal rematerialization fee of 300,000 unified Hedron dollars
what?
has been charged to your account.
Bitches? No. Okay, well, apparently in this game, falling to your death equates to having your money stolen by the crooked museum. Although I am kind of glad that they did save my life. So, I mean, it's not all bad. So I don't believe there's any way to reset your position if you experience drift in this demo. So I just have to hope I don't drift. Entrance. Fossil fuels. Closed. Nuclear section. Bioenergy section. Exo-mineral section. And Microstar. Oh, that little sun must be the Microstar. Okay, I get it. I get it. And that's why it's called Museum of the Microstar, because the giant sun in the middle of it. That suddenly makes sense. Okay. Where do I want to go here? Okay, these are the restrooms, which are apparently for people and also robots. And it's currently closed. And I gotta not step off the platform if I don't want to lose more money. Oh, what is this? Is this a tree? Do they have a tree on display here? The texture of this actually looks reasonable. This isn't this isn't just normal mapped. This has some real 3D texture. Here's, I guess, the other half of it over here. Maybe it's just dirt. I think it's a tree trunk. It might be dirt. Anyway. This place is so huge. It's got to be like, it looks like it's like 200 feet tall and I'm inside some kind of underground cave or something. Okay, let me take another look at this diagram. Where am I? I'm over there by the restrooms. So I'm going to go around to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I'm going to be on the opposite side, I guess. No, wait. I'm at the top. So that means that 1 is on my left. I'm going to go up here. Okay, I am drifting a little bit, but I'm going to be okay. Gonna be okay. There we go. Oh, what's this here? So this game actually has decoupled body turning with your mouse and head turning with your head. I think these days, if they were to remake this, they would probably use head look, where you move in the direction you're looking. That's not how this game works. So I can look off to the right and also move forwards and backwards. But if I turn my mouse, it turns my head and body, and then I can do like this. So that's how the controls work. It's basically tank mode, no surprises. Ooh, look at that blue glowy thing. That is cool. So I read some of the documentation for this demo. Can I jump off here? I'm gonna try and jump off. Whee! That wasn't too bad. Okay, and I guess this is the restroom for males and male robots. Okay. And here's a trash can. All right. Moving along. So I was reading the documentation for this demo, and they originally made this demo as a monitor-based demo. Oh my God, it's a tree.
Wood was a hard, fibrous structural tissue found in the stems and roots of trees. It was used for hundreds of thousands of years as both a fuel source and as a construction material. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
Sure, tell me all you know about wood.
The smoke from burning wood is believed to be the first man-made airborne carcinogen. At its peak, wood was grown at the rate of just over 10 billion tons per year, but production dropped precipitously after the first Great Burn. It was not until the second Great Burn that the last wild trees finally went extinct. Believe it or not, the sample you see here is not actually real wood. It is Hedron's patented textured wood product. After the second Great Burn, Hedron scientists managed to bioengineer a few new species of tree based on DNA stored in Hedron's secure extraplanetary gene vault. Hedron is now the sole producer of textured wood product. samples of which are available in our gift store.
Okay, so apparently Hedron now has a monopoly on wood, which is terrifying. Welcome to the future. Got some steel girders over here. Got this force field to stop us from falling off, which they conveniently neglected to put on the staircase leading up here. Okay, so like I was saying, I was reading the documentation of this. Ooh, fossil fuels. So I was reading the documentation, and they made some changes from the original monitor-based version. They turned off real-time shadows, and they turned off. They used to have a fly-through that just kind of flies you through the scene and shows you a little bit of everything up close. And they, of course, had to turn that off because having your camera angle jerked around.
Coal use by humans has been traced back as far as 2000 BC, but it was not until the 20th century AD that it became a prominent source of energy. While coal proved to be a useful source of energy, it was also a contributing factor in the destruction of Earth's original biosphere. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
Badass. Look at this. Look at how shiny it is. Okay, I understand now what they meant when they said this was a demo of their physics-based rendering. They are actually, they figured out how to physically render all these materials, and then they decided to show off these materials in a museum. This is literally like a museum of their materials database.
Historians believe the massive increase in coal use can be traced back to an advertising campaign called Christmas, which featured a coal delivery man named Santa. Despite its popularity and industrial utility, coal use ultimately declined due to the depletion of coal reserves shortly before the first Great Burn.
I think they're not quite getting the story of Santa Claus right there, but, you know, information is lost with time. What is that thing? I don't know what that does. Maybe it's some kind of air conditioner, ventilation unit? I don't know. It's going up into the ceiling anyway. Okay, fossil fuel. I'm going to go out here and get a look at this. Oh, check that out. It's got lightning, all those particles spinning around down there. Isn't that sun gorgeous? I can't wait to get a closer look at it. It's so pretty. You can just, like, that. I think that sun is literally made out of, like, many, many thousands of GPU simulated particles. Okay, I better move along. Ooh, little cubes. These remind me of, I feel like I've seen cubes like this in a game before somewhere, but I don't remember quite where. I was thinking Portal at first. They do kind of look like companion cubes, or heavy weighted storage cubes, but they're not quite the same.
Petroleum was a naturally occurring flammable liquid, consisting of a complex mixture of hydrocarbons of various molecular weights and other liquid organic compounds. Extracted primarily via drilling, it became the basis for most human manufacturing and food production. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
Oil! My favorite environment destroyer.
The rise of petroleum production also allowed for the development of humanity's first mechanical symbiote, called the automobile. Humans in some cultures spent most of their lives living inside these primitive mechanical creatures, roaming the continent looking for both food and oil. This practice was particularly prevalent in a place called Los Angeles, where Hedron paleontologists recently discovered preserved automobile fossils embedded in a gigantic tar pit.
Awesome. I don't think cars have fossils. They're not very good archaeologists. This is really cool though. It's got like just this sphere of oil that's like all floating inside some kind of force field, and its surface is undulating in the light. I like how they did that. Okay. Let's keep going. What's this next one?
Methane hydrate is produced when methane becomes trapped in the crystalline structure of frozen water. While it was once a powerful and pervasive source of energy, it also produced tremendous amounts of greenhouse gases, which ultimately caused the first Great Burn. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
So now we've gone from the present into the future. where we've learned about a new fuel source, which is even more terrible than oil, and which eventually caused our atmosphere to burn up or something. Sounds kind of bad.
Methane hydrate was originally discovered in undersea deposits at the Earth's North Pole. Initially, the extraction process proved too expensive for most corporations, but due to global climate change and the subsequent reduction of Arctic ice flow, methane hydrate extraction became economically feasible in the early 21st century. Though this industry was very profitable, the leaked methane began accruing in the atmosphere at exponential rates. Unfortunately, most methane hydrate industries went bankrupt shortly after the event now known as the First Great Burn, as atmospheric firestorms caused the death of over 97% of Earth's carbon-based life forms. Even Hedron's extraction facilities closed for several hours as our surviving organic employees were lovingly retrofitted with bionic rebreather units.
Okay, apparently extracting this stuff, we set the atmosphere on fire. Probably shouldn't have done that, and killed 97% of all carbon-based life forms, which sounds like it could be a bit of a disaster for the human race. I'm not a fan of doing that. Guys, let's not kill everybody. Just saying. There's another one of those things. Terminal offline due to nanites. Oops. Wasn't me. Here's a nice little chair. Can I sit? I don't think I can sit, but if I could sit, this would be a nice place to sit with a nice view of the Microstar and the various exhibits here in the corner. I think this is a trash receptacle. I wonder if it like automatically incinerates the trash. I wonder how that works, because it's empty. Warning. Exhibit closed due to nanite infestation. Apparently nanites like to devour people's bodies, so I better not touch those. What happens if I do? What happens if I do? Look at them. Okay, they're all trapped inside this force field, so they can't get me. But what if I walk inside the force field?
Please do not feed the nanites.
Please do not feed the nanites. I should have seen that coming. This is a Unity-based demo. So, you know, actually I kind of like having tank mode in a museum.
Wood was a hard, fibrous structural tissue found in the stems and roots of trees.
Get out of my
It
head.
was used for hundreds of thousands of years as both coal use by humans has been traced back as far as 2000 BC, but it was not until the 20th century AD petroleum
Like I was
a
saying, I
naturally
kind of
occurring
like
flammable liquid,
this guy will shut up for
consisting
1
of a
minute.
complex mixture of hydrocarbons.
I kind of
very
like
molecular
tank
weights.
mode in this museum because I
Methane
can walk
hydrate is
forward
produced
while
when
looking
methane
sideways at all the
becomes trapped in
exhibits.
crystalline
So it
structure
kind of
of
works.
frozen water. While it was once a powerful and pervasive source of energy, it also produced tremendous amounts of greenhouse gases, which ultimately caused the First Great Burn. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
And jump. I don't need no stairs. Wait, can I get back on there? Oh no. Oh, I can jump. Excellent. I didn't even know I could jump, but I can. Makes sense. Okay, what's this thing?
Originally discovered in the late 18th century, uranium is the only terrestrially occurring fissile isotope. It's been used for a variety of different purposes throughout history, including the production of medicine, weapons, and most of all, radioactive glass. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more.
Radioactive
Otherwise,
glass?
please continue to the next exhibit.
I'm not sure how useful that would be.
These two samples are pitchblende and autunite. Pitchblende was once a primary uranium ore, known since the 15th century, but not extracted in earnest until the 20th century. Autunite is a rare crystalline concentration of uranium, now exhausted due to its use in luxury condiments. Pitchblende and autunite became an afterthought in the production of uranium, after the first uranium-producing cattle were cloned by Dr. Jackson Fistweather in Omaha, Nebraska.
The plot of this game is just getting more and more absurd. So apparently we created cows that create crystalline uranium as a power source. Sure, why not? Can I walk over here? Can I push this button? I guess this is how they maintain the Microstar, by using this thing. But I can't operate it. I don't have a staff privilege or something. Okay, let's get up here. What's this thing? What's this next thing?
With the destruction of Earth's atmosphere, the greatest surviving minds in science turned their attention to making the planet livable again. While a number of approaches were explored, bioengineered life forms such as this algae were most successful. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
This looks less like algae and more like it's some kind of glowy energy being.
This algae was engineered for carbon sequestration. Algae farms often covered hundreds of square miles and, due to the smell and resident brain-eating amoeba, made swimming exceedingly unpleasant. It wasn't until the last of these farms died out that beaches became popular again, and remained popular until the Great Water Polo Inquisition banned all aquatic activities on planet Earth.
This is really, really silly writing. The Great Water Polo Inquisition. I can only speculate what that is. I will let you speculate. I don't know what the bioenergy. Okay, these are some kind of microorganisms they're using to generate energy, like those. Well, the algae were for carbon sequestration, not for energy. What's this?
This is an example of version 2 of
Whoa.
Hedron's hydrogen-producing uber fungus. Designed to be a food source and increase hydrogen levels in the atmosphere, it was the first bioengineered fungi to see widespread deployment. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
Okay, your creepy fungus is breathing. I don't know how I feel about this. Eee. And it's all black and gray? Whoa.
Its successor, the Uber fungus Mark IV, was a much more efficient hydrogen producer and significantly more tasty. Uber fungus Mark IV, which was much more resistant to fire, radiation, and extreme cold, would eventually go on to cover 1/4 of the Earth's landmass. The dramatic increase in atmospheric hydrogen caused by these fungi are believed to be a contributing factor to the second Great Burn.
So their biological experiment ran away with them, and they ended up setting the atmosphere on fire again. Good job, Hedron. Good job. On the plus side, they did create a tasty, tasty mushroom. So I'm always a fan of that. I like mushrooms in salad and stuff.
Epimethium G was a bioluminescent airborne bacteria created by Hedron scientists after the first Great Burn. It was primarily engineered to remove methane from the atmosphere, but its soft glow was later added by the Army Corps of Atmospheric Beauticians. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
This looks a lot like the algae, except it's kind of blue and purple, and it comes out of that emitter down there.
Records suggest that in areas of particularly high methane concentration, colonies of bacteria would form massive glowing clouds. However, scientists and historians can only speculate about the appearance of these clouds, as there are no visual records from this century, and since the last wild bacterial colonies were killed off in the Second Great Burn. Domesticated Epimethium G, such as this sample, remain one of Hedron's best-selling products, due to its agreeable personality and charming retro aesthetic.
How does a colony of bacteria have a personality exactly? Is it coming up to the glass to be friendly with me? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's smiling at me. In the manner in which a colony of bacteria smile. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm getting close to that microstar now. What's this thing?
Neofulgarite is a rare, energy-rich exomineral that powers many of Hedron's most popular products. Currently, neofulgarite can only be found on the surface of one exoplanet, Gliese 581G, but Hedron's terraforming scientists are confident that someday in the not-too-distant future, other useless planets could begin producing neofulgarite as well. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
Are we really using other planets to produce our energy sources? This stuff, it looks like it's like a strobe lights inside it or something. It is all glowy.
Neofulgarite can only be produced by violent planetary storms. When lightning strikes the unique sands on the surface of Gliese 581G, it causes the spontaneous formation of an energetic crystalline structure. Due to the density of energy bound up in that structure, neofulgarite crystals are extremely volatile. These crystals, like the sample in front of you, have been known to produce explosions upwards of 600 megatons. But that doesn't stop our brave Hedron employees from very bravely venturing into the storms of Gliese 581G and collecting neofulgarite crystals by hand. It's an incredibly exciting and fulfilling career. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a Hedron prospector, be sure to visit your local Hedron recruitment office.
Or not. That sounds dangerous. I don't want to do it. This thing looks really cool though. It's like simultaneously kind of pulsating. Like you can see its surface moving and it's also doing the glowy flashy thing. That is really cool. Exomineral energy. Okay, so that was the exomineral. What remains? There's this thing.
This is the only known sample of taconite,
Whoa.
a baffling substance discovered by Hedron submariners in the crew cabins of a sunken 17th century Spanish galleon. Based on documents found aboard the ship, Hedron anachronistic historians conclude that the sample was brought to Earth by a time traveler, who was subsequently killed for wearing funny clothes. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit.
What in the hell is this thing? This is so weird. It's like it's got this red and blue version of itself and they're all blinking between each other. Wow. These are really, really creative graphics. Like, I've seen tech demos, but I've never seen anything like this. Look at this thing. I feel like it's like somebody with super speed is putting 3D glasses on and off my face super fast, if that makes sense. I have no idea. That is a crazy looking thing. Okay, let's keep going. Ooh, what is this thing?
Shortly after its
Gravitanium.
discovery by a Hedron research expedition, gravitanium was used to construct the first and only perpetual motion machine. Scientists hoped the machine could finally solve mankind's energy problems, but instead it created terrible problems of its own. Click the sign if you'd like to learn more. Otherwise, please continue to the next exhibit. During the second round of testing, research scientists lost control of the perpetual motion machine. Its exponential acceleration curve ultimately generated a fireball that destroyed much of the Great Lakes region of North America.
Oops.
As a result of that incident, which came to be known as the Rust Belt Melt, all known governments signed the Buffalo Standstill Treaty and outlawed further research on perpetual motion machines. Gravitanium has since found use in Microstar cores as well as the deck plating of zero-gravity facilities, such as interstellar ships and space hockey arenas.
Apparently space hockey is now a popular sport. Please do not take holo photos of gravitanium. Oh, I want a holo camera. I could take pictures for VR with it. Do not stare at the gravitanium. Oops. I kind of already did that. Do not pose with the gravitanium. Do not make wishes on the gravitanium. I wish that virtual reality is highly successful. It's not exploding. Do not high-five the gravitanium. Do not tap on the gravitanium. Do not make light of the gravitanium. Who the hell do you think you are? You're nothing. You're just a mineral. You're not alive. I don't even like you. Okay, that didn't work either. Do not run near the gravitanium. Do not illustrate the gravitanium. Do not climb on the gravitanium. Do not arm wrestle the gravitanium. Do not throw objects at gravitanium. Do not attempt to lift gravitanium. Do not taunt the gravitanium. Well, I've already completed most of those things. I just have to run now. Ah! Okay, that was some poor running. I've drifted a fair bit by now. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, which way do I go now? Prepare for the most significant advancement in your past, present, and future. What's over here? To conclude the once-in-a-lifetime experience, please use the provided elevation platform to return to the entrance. Okay, so that's the exit. Let's go check out the Microstar, guys. At this point, I'm using my forward and strafe keys because I've gotten so much
Crown
drift.
jewel of this museum is, of course, the Hedron FX1 Microstar. Ignited around a gravitanium core, this Microstar constitutes the first self-sustaining artificial fusion reaction in the history of history itself. This glowing achievement provides a beacon of hope and prosperity during humankind's darkest moments, and while it ultimately caused the destruction of planet Earth and all known life on its surface, The FX1 Microstar finally allowed the rest of us to cast off our planetary chains and break free of our desolate terrestrial prison. Microstars such as this one now power the spacecraft and planetary power grids of the entire Hedron interstellar trade network. They have allowed Hedron to blaze countless trails through the galaxy in every imaginable direction, and over time, Hedron has itself grown to become the radiant star at the center of the known universe. Today there are many sides to Hedron, but all of them continue to face forward. So as always, Semper ad futurum. Hedron is the future.
Okay, so apparently this thing destroyed the planet Earth, but they found a way to put a positive spin on that. I mean, at least it's pretty, right? And it's some kind of like virtually perpetual energy source, so that's a plus. Look at this thing. There's gotta be like 100,000 particles moving around in this thing. It's enormous. Wow. Wow. And I can't believe that I'm looking at this at I'm running 2560, 1600, 60 frames a second. Absolutely no latency moving my head around. And I'm looking at this many particles. This is nuts. This must be the GPU particle thing they were talking about. This is amazing. Oh my god. Okay, I better get out of here. Where's the way out? Ah, I have so much drift now. I'm literally, like, to look forward, I have to strafe to the left. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. I just gotta find the way out of here, so I can finish this demo. You know, with stuff like this existing, I have hope that when the consumer version comes out and it has a 1440p display, which it probably will, that we're still going to be able to have amazing graphical experiences, even at such a high resolution, even at the frame rates that are necessary for the Rift to run at. Alright, well, we're done with our little museum tour. Let's see where this elevator takes us. Hopefully this place doesn't explode before we get out of it.
On behalf of the Hedron Historical Group, thank you for visiting the Museum of the Microstar. We hope you have been sufficiently impressed by the wonders exhibited here. But they are more than a mere demonstration of Hedron's unmatched technological prowess. They're a record of our history and the history to come. Be sure to visit the Microstar gift shop after your exit teleportation concludes. As a reminder, should you wish to have your audiotropic implants removed during teleportation, Hedron is glad to accommodate you for a small fee of 10,000 unified Hedron
Oh,
dollars.
What?
Glad bye, and thanks for visiting.
Glad bye. Is that what they say in the future? I'm gonna see if... Can I press these buttons? Okay, this lift isn't doing anything, so I think this is the end of the demo. I don't think I can do anything else here. I hope I'm not missing some cool surprise at the end, but I really think this is everything. Alright, I'm gonna come out of here and I just want to watch this thing forever. Look at that. Look at all the blue things and the yellow things and everything. Oh wow. Just wow. Okay, I gotta come out of here and talk about this. So that was Museum of the Microstar, and I've got to say, even today, it still stands in many ways leaps and bounds above other Rift demos in its ability to portray these very realistic physics-based materials, these very large and complex particle-based systems, and to do it all at very high resolution and frame rates. And it really gives me hope that in the future we're still going to be able to have really cool effects, even in virtual reality devices that require you to run super high resolutions and frame rates in order to have a good experience. The story was great. I like how they started with stuff that was already familiar to the player, like the wood and the oil, and then but they drop little hints in of like other things that have happened more recently, and they have the nice little humor elements, like the having to have them remove the audiotropic thing for a fee, and having to and like their misconstrual of the legend of Santa Claus and some things like that. And I like how those were just kind of that they had this very deadpan delivery of those, and that worked out really, really well. I like how they started it right off with this particle system just whooshing around your head on all sides, and that was seeing that in the Rift and being able to look at them just all right, like 1 foot in front of your face, was really, really cool. It was a great way to start out. I like how they dealt with out of bounds cases with the emergency teleportation and fitted into the narrative. That was really well done. And the plot in general was just really imaginative, and it's like they're sending kind of an environmental message, but without taking themselves too seriously. It's also just kind of a sci-fi environment with some comic elements, and so I really, really enjoyed this. I really think it's a great experience, and I hope that this team is going to at some point return to the Rift and make some more, port some more of their cool experiences to it, and create maybe some novel VR experiences, because they've said that they have access to a great network of experts. They obviously have a lot of talent themselves, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully more someday from Rust Limited. That's all for today. Let me know if you want me to play any more small demos like this. Let me know any other larger games you might want me to play. I'm currently working on Among the Sleep, which is a horror game from the perspective of a toddler. Definitely check that out. And Dishonored, which is the classic stealth game. So that's all for today. Everybody have a great every day.